Right, someone was asking about textures, and so I thought that was a good idea to do a quick video showing how to do textures. Look, I couldn't find a painting of mine that was lacking textures, and I didn't feel like painting a whole painting right now just to have a textureless painting. So you can see I found this on Google Images, and notice she's very smooth, and so is this very smooth. There's like no textures. And so I can add texture to her skin really easily. And there's a couple different ways to do that. One is you can have like a texture already as an image and paste the image in here, but let's say you have brushes too. So I'm going to check my brushes here. I have some skin brushes. They should be right in front of me. That's right. It's one of these two. I guess the top one. Yeah, so these have different textures, and what I'm going to do is make a new layer here. I want to actually be able to see what texture I'm doing. I can't remember which ones are which, so I'm just looking at them. Okay, so that one. Then I would change the size of it because I want it quite small for this painting. And then I would also change the color. Say I kind of want to use this kind of dark color here for now. And I have my opacity down. I'm going to turn this to normal for now. And so I would paint in the texture kind of where I want it, where I think it might show up. And I do this with a normal at first, just kind of, getting a feel, see what I like. And then I will maybe turn the opacity down a bit. I'm going to zoom in here so you can really see the texture there. And then maybe I'll try different modes, to see what works and what doesn't. So it's normal. I'll probably just keep it on normal, but sometimes, different modes. Like that actually works. Dark color and normal work, yeah. So I'll just keep it normal and turn the opacity down for now. But let's say I wanted some lighter part, so I can actually just choose a light color and then add in a little bit to the darker parts of her skin. Right, and then I would go to. So I have to make it to where you can actually. You're gonna have to be in HD and turn the size to full screen probably to see all this. Let's take this really dark color, and now I can actually add, individually. I have to use my mouse and click individually. That's not the right texture. One of these textures I have is just like, there we go. It's like a mole texture. So anyway, you want to use, I can also paint moles in manually because there's no reason to use mole texture, but I had this one kind of cool texture I was looking for. Anyway, so that's a quick way, and now I have, skin texture to her. So it's really just about, getting the brush set that you want. And I can go through these different ones and see what different ones do. And like that one's kind of cool, so I can turn it down and check it out. So that's how you'd add skin texture. But what if you want to add, rock texture and stuff like that? So let's pretend that this table is like a rock instead of a table. And I could use, some of my brushes I have, because you want to go online and download a bunch of different brush sets for textures. It really saves a lot of time. And what you do is you paint on a new layer and mess around with the different settings, to see what might work and might not work. Try, multiply. The ones I usually try is like multiply, color burn, darker color, or screen or lighten, or overlay, soft light, hard light. So those are the main ones I usually try a lot to see what happens and see if you like the end result. Then you can also, if you're using a brush, a brush set for texturing, you can actually try changing the brush itself up here to different things as you're painting. And so let's see here. Let's go with. So I have this texture folder. I just save all kinds of textures that I might want to use. You could find textures online, like go to Google and then images, and then make sure you choose like large and search for it. Just type in texture and search for all kinds of textures. Okay, I'm going to keep this out here if I know what my time is. I'm already like halfway through this. Okay, so I'm going to grab this texture and drop it in here. Go to image. I'm going to turn the size of this down. Let's go with 50. No, let's try 25. So this is like more advanced. I don't want to waste my time describing everything I'm doing. So if you don't know what I just did, you have to learn the basics of Photoshop first. Okay, so let's say I want to have this texture on there. I'm going to go ahead right now, just temporarily set it to something like multiply. And I'm going to turn the opacity down a little bit here. I'd go to edit. Let's go transform, distort. Try this first. So I'm going to end up having, what you want to do is, it don't have to be perfect, just make sure that it kind of has, it kind of goes back, since this object is, because you want the texture to kind of match the object itself. So I'll just kind of go like that, click OK. So now I can, sometimes I just go like this, select it here, then I click up and down on my keyboard, and just to see what, which one might work for what I want to add some texture. You might want to do more than one as well. So I think I'll I'll stick with multiply for this one, and then I'll go to image, adjustments, and hue and saturation. I'm going to turn the saturation down a lot. And I'm going to make the lightness. So I don't want to get rid of that original. I'm going to turn that up just a little bit there. I can mess with the hue and saturation now. I can go to like colorize and try to match kind of the color that was already there, kind of like a yellowish color, let's say. Something like that. I'm going to try something here. Yeah, I'll go with soft light for now. Once I start to get, the kind of texture how I kind of want it, then I can go in and erase where it's not going to show up. And I pick my eraser tool. I'm going to pick go to my brushes, pick a soft brush. 100% opacity. I'm going to just erase what I don't need here. Okay, then I need to go to I need to extend that part over a bit, so I'm just going to go to transform and warp. So I just selected that, and I'm just going to kind of pull that part over there. Although I probably shouldn't have done it like that. Oh well, that's fine for now. Okay, so here's before and after. To add that texture in there. Then what you can do is I could still further change the coloring if I wanted to as well. Like I can actually see what it would look like if I just turn it to color. It doesn't do anything. So overlay. Then I can go in and adjust the color some more and change it to where it can match the original color. Alright, so now I'm looking at it up close so you can really see the texture. You can also mess around with adding more than one texture to an object, and try different. Have one to multiply, one to overlay, and overlay the textures over the object. But as you can see, it goes over the object and it retains the original shading and stuff. And I can even adjust how much texture I want and don't want. And I can come back in and even use the multiply brush and add, after I flatten it, I can add some shadows back into it for they all show through. Alright, so this is pretty much over. Please check out the link for more free videos for digitalcanvas.net16.net. It's on the right hand side there in the description of the video. And then you can paint over the textures as you want as well. That's a cool technique to use also. H.R. Geiger uses a lot in his oil airbrush paintings. Okay, thank you.